Wow. Angel, you get on national TV to promote your business about adventure and hosting to be one of the worst hosts to ever host a trip on the Housewives. How does that work?
Welcome to the Asia Esterak Hour, where film meets conspiracy and pop culture gets a reality check. From sharp recaps to sci-fi theories and media deep dives, Asia Esterak serves it unfiltered. Let the binge begin.
All right. Welcome back to the Asia Esterak Hour. I'm Asia Esterak. All right. This is going to be a quick review. I'm sorry it's late. Woke up late. Blah, blah, blah. I'm days late. Fix the hair. Okay. The Real Housewives of Potomac, season 10, episode 15. Okay. So we pick up right where we left off with Angel and the other girls in the car and the other women. They're all on their way to this private jet. Angel is talking about the conversation she had with Jazzy, where Jazzy told her about the accommodations or lack thereof that the ladies were having at the house they were staying at. She also tells Angel about Monique kind of mentioning, basically comparing her marriage with Angel. And here's the thing: I agree with Angel. She's like, don't compare your marriage to mine and try to make comparisons and find similarities because that's not true. You don't know me. You haven't taken a chance to get to know me. Agreed. Totally agree with that. Um, but there's definitely similarities. There's similarities. Um, so in the other car, um, it's being revealed to Giselle and Ashley, that Jazzy is the one that went back and told actually, I'm sorry, Stacy and Wendy are talking about it, and then they relay the message to Giselle. So they find out prior, before leaving, that Jazzy was the one that went back and told Angel everything that they were talking about, including what Monique said. So they're they're going into that. So anyway, they get to the private jet. They're on the jet. Angel's doing her whole thing. So this lady's a trip. She has like multiple personalities. So she starts off by apologizing to the women about the accommodations. Giselle's over it. Giselle's like, too late, too late. So I'm reading the comments on the internet, and the fans are divided. Some people said that Giselle and Wendy went too hard on her, and some are saying she didn't go hard at all. My perspective, I know a lot of people don't like Giselle, and I feel like sometimes us as audience members get lost in the sauce. Just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean they can't be right. I'm sorry. That Giselle would have been me, because I would have been like, it's too late. And she's right. So they're saying that the production is the one that got them the house. If that's the case, then break the fucking fourth wall, because she took all the responsibility. But here's the reality. To me, it's not even about the water not running, the accommodations being terrible. I think now walk with me on this. This is my perspective from what I saw with Giselle. Giselle was pissed, obviously, because the accommodations were terrible, but because homegirl didn't even care or reach out to them. Because the reality is, she doesn't like these women. So she didn't care how their time was going. She heard that. She didn't send a text. And that was Giselle's whole thing. Like, you didn't even reach out to us. You're a terrible host, which she is. And it's crazy that you got on national TV to promote a business that hadn't even opened yet with this attitude on national television. It's mind-boggling. So Wendy jumps in, and Wendy's like, you didn't even fake care. You could have like sent something. You could have given the illusion that you care just a little bit, and you couldn't even do that. She's right. Angel, she's right. And what's crazy is for her to sit up there and play. This is my problem with her. She plays the fucking victim constantly. Now, do I think the women are going hard on her right now? Yes, but I think between Wendy and Giselle, that was a buildup of all the shit she's been doing. So with the house being fucked up, that was just the icing. That was just the cherry on top, the complete cherry on top. So I get it. So of course she has an attitude, but I'm gonna be the host and I'm gonna be cool. So anyway, they go to Aspen, they go to Kimosabe. They do this whole thing where they talk about how much they spent on their souvenirs. Very tacky, very cringy. I didn't understand that at all. But they go there. They end up going upstairs and they run into Mauricio Umansky, Kyle Richards' estranged husband. Mauricio is a very good looking man, good looking brother. So Mauricio, they hang out. They allude to maybe him and Giselle, but I was cracking up. Stacy and Ashley are very funny together when they're not fighting. Even when they're fighting, they are kind of funny, but they're funny like little bosom buddies. Stacy was like, "Get your ass in gear. You got to get him." Did y'all catch when Ashley was talking about, well, is he getting divorced, whatever? And they're like, he's separated. And she goes, well, it has been a little bit of time. It has been a little bit of time. It's only been a year. Ashley, you have no boundaries. You're fucking weird, bro. From a Gemini to another Gemini, get your shit together. That's just ridiculous. I couldn't believe she did that. I was like, of course you did that. You also admitted to making out, and I think you slept with Sharice's son, personally. The fact that you told your own tea is crazy. Nobody was even asking for that information. You volunteered that bullshit yourself, dumbass. And Sharice, you stupid for backtracking in real time when you saw that the audience was getting your dumbass together. Anyway, they flirt with him. He leaves. It was funny though. He was like, I'm going to be alone tonight. I'll be by myself tonight. That was interesting. Bit of an invitation. Of course, Ashley. Anyway, so I'm skipping around a lot because I just want to get to the meat and potatoes. So they go to this lunch and Wendy kind of calls out Jazzy for bringing the information back. Before they get into Jazzy's ass, though, Monique brings up her comparison, or I'm sorry, when Wendy calls out Jazzy and the whole talking about them, that's when Monique steps in and basically explains why she's comparing, not that she's comparing her marriage to Chris Samuels, to Angel and her husband, but she explains why she arrived at that conclusion. I thought she was very succinct. I thought she was very clear. Angel, of course, denies everything. And in the confessional, she just tells on herself more. My husband treats me like a queen 24/7. He pampers me. Girl, I don't believe none of that. Everything that you putting out, baby, not everyone's buying. Girls, please stop with that shit. Angel, girl, okay. So then we get to Jazzy and they call out the fact that Angel brought Tia to her house and not Jazzy. So that sparks the whole conversation. And this is where Wendy, my other Gemini queen, can't believe it. I'm in love with Wendy Osefo, y'all. I'm in love with her. I love her. The world has turned. But Wendy was like, the problem is you're not accountable and you can't just stand in your truth. You talk all this shit, but you can't stand in it. You bring us on this trip knowing that you didn't like everybody on the trip, and that's fine, but you should have said that. You should have been upfront with it. I want these two because they're my closest friends, so they're coming to my house. They do call out the fact that she didn't bring Jazzy, but she brings Tia, and it was obvious that Jazzy felt some sort of way. Sidebar, Jazzy used to be a flight attendant. That explains her demeanor. She gives me flight attendant energy. Anyway, but Angel, this scene to me solidified why you shouldn't be on this show. You couldn't stand in your own shit. And even Wendy, they go to Wendy in her confessional and Wendy hits it on the head. She's like, when I hosted and I wasn't getting along with Robin and Giselle in Chesapeake, they had the room at the top with no windows, no bathroom. She said Giselle, Robin, and Giselle's boot. I fell out. But she's right though. She's like, you fake like you like everybody when you really don't. You claim you're sorry about their accommodations, but it's obvious that you didn't give a damn to begin with. You didn't even check up on them. So it's like, okay, girl. So anyway, they're going back and forth about that. And Wendy is really trying to break it down to her in a very diplomatic way. She appears to be getting it, but then is she? Angel's so back and forth with how she handles stuff. She's cool one minute and then, she got to sleep on it. And then the next day it's like, well, actually, I don't feel that way. I feel different. Okay, girl. Okay. So in this scene, Angel, even though she's receiving what they're saying, she's not. She ends up breaking down a little bit. And actually Monique and of all people, Ashley come over and comfort her. Now, Angel says, I don't understand what else I'm supposed to do when I tell people my truth. They don't believe me and it's perceived as lying. I think they're perceiving it as lying, Angel, because of your behavior and how you've been on this show so far. Like you're flip-floppy. You're not consistent. So everything that you do comes off inauthentic or fake or, So, yeah. And then this whole trip didn't help the optics of your situation either. So it's like, what do you expect people to do? This victim shit is very frustrating. I'm sorry, my alarm went off. But anyway, Angel, here's the other thing. To my understanding, so apparently you're a Pisces woman. Pisces women do not play. Yes, they are extremely overly emotional. Absolutely. But Pisces women, in my opinion, they don't play. They can be a little crazy. But at the end of the day, they're very strong and they will take accountability. Obviously, all signs do. But I'm just saying specifically, she definitely behaves like a Pisces for sure. But it's frustrating because why are you're like you're like the weak, silly fish right now. Girl, swim with the current. You quit trying to swim upstream. Swim with the current. Come on, channel them Pisces powers. Because girl, what is going on? She doesn't fit in with this group of women. She just doesn't fit in with them, and that's it. Please don't bring her back. I was saying last week, maybe give her another episode. Nah. And the other thing too, my friend and I said this last week. I'll say it again. My friend and I have come to the conclusion that Angel and them and her husband do not have money like that. She presents herself as this grand dame entitled type, but the reality is you're not living high on the hog, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I loved in the scene, and I got the scenes wrong when they were going over what they bought, and they got to Stacey, and Stacey's like, "Well, I'm not rich, so I didn't get anything." She said, "I will enjoy your guys' presence through you." That shit had me dying. But exactly, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Like, I totally got I'm sorry, I'm watching right now. I totally got the sequence wrong. Mauricio is one of the last people that they see before the episode ends. But this was a good episode. Angel, you need to get off this show. And you definitely shouldn't be hosting shit. And it's crazy that you and your husband got on TV to promote the business that hadn't even opened yet. I didn't even realize that. And this is how you guys act on TV? Do you really think people want to come to Wonderland and deal with y'all? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, maybe Giselle couldn't have went as hard on the plane, but have you ever been on vacation and didn't have running water? Just saying. Anyway, the episode ends with them talking some bullshit. You know it's gonna be up and up next week. I can't wait for the reunion. I'm just curious how this reunion's gonna go. Anyway, real quick. So Angel used to be a journalist. Did y'all know that? She was on the show For My Man. I find it very peculiar that she came on this show and led with everything Bobby and nothing with her. She has an interesting life and we don't even know that. Why do I, the viewer, have to find out online that she used to be a journalist, she used to be on the show and all this other stuff? I don't know. I hate that all of her identity on the show is tied back to her husband. And I agree with Monique. I think there's a lot more there. Anyway, sorry this review is late. Interesting episode. Good season. This is a good season. No matter how you feel about anybody, it's a good season. And I'm in love with Wendy Osefo. Anyway, happy Tuesday, you guys. Have a taco. Be nice to each other. Stay hydrated. Stay warm. And I'm going to go return these videotapes. Hold on. I forgot one thing. One more thing. So Giselle at the end of the episode basically tells the ladies that she got them new accommodations. They're going to be staying at the Four Seasons. And she alludes to the women leaving the trip. So Giselle, this is where the mean girl shit comes in. You're going to commandeer the trip now? You're just going to take over completely? She was like, we're going to have dinner here later and then some of us are going to go home. I don't know how I felt about that. That was a little weird. Anyway, I'm going to go return these videotapes. Y'all be cool.